when you delegate something that you don't already have mastered yourself, guess what happens? It's back on you. So then what do? You have to start over again. Welcome to Brand Talk with Rachel and Drew. Drew's not here. I want to do this one solo today because I want to have a real honest conversation with you, the business owner, and just woman to woman. I want to have a conversation about really what it looks like to truly step into CEO. So I had this very real realization, I would say, back in 2017 when my life drastically changed. And I've talked a little bit about this throughout certain episodes. And if you're close to me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've been to our events, you've likely heard about my story. It's a pretty intense story. So I'm not going to go too deep into it here now. But essentially in 2017, I became a widowed single mom overnight. And my salon was literally barely 6 months old at the time. And I was, of course, the breadwinner. I was, the breadwinner of my family. I was also the breadwinner in the salon. And I came to a very hard reality of this business cannot operate without me. This business is not set up in a position to where I can take the time that I need to be able to heal, grieve, etc. And I had to figure out a way to get my business to be self-sufficient. I had to figure out a way to get my business to run without me pushing it with both hands and feet all the time. So you might find yourself in a similar situation. My hope is it's not nearly as intense or insane as my story of becoming a widowed single mom overnight. But maybe you feel that your personal life is falling apart and or your business life is falling apart, and you're having to hold it all together for everyone, and you're having to put on a happy smile and fake it inside the salon when you're really just broken inside. I don't know. But when you have a business that you have created, that doesn't mean that you are operating as a business owner. What that can really look like, honestly, is that you were a hairstylist prior. You were really great at that, right? You've heard on other episodes, we've talked about your stylist IQ, and but you have to be able to increase your business IQ when it comes into being an actual business owner. And a lot of times, especially for myself, when I first opened my business, I was playing pretend business owner. I was just okay, well, I'm a business owner now, right? So it was well, I'm a business owner because I own a business. Sure, technically speaking, yes, but I wasn't operating like a business owner. I was very much still operating as a stylist. And I had this idea, and you guys have probably said this out loud too. When I get my salon open, I'm going to get it open and I can get back to doing hair. Yeah, I thought that too. And I thought that, okay, this beautiful Pinterest-worthy place is going to run on its own. Or what I also see a lot of, including myself, is I'm going to hire a manager and she's going to run it. No, because guess what? If that person doesn't know how to run your company because you don't know how to run your company, that person's going to fail. All right, guys, real quick. If you're a salon owner who's tired of grinding behind the chair with nothing to show for it but a sore back and an inconsistent bank account, you need to BYOB, build your own brand. This is our signature program helping salon owners all across the country launch their own private label hair extension line under your name with your profit margins and your rules.
It's not just about services. It's about creating an actual brand that can sell while you sleep. Our students are launching their own Shopify stores, wholesaling to local stylists, and finally stepping into the CEO seat without having to reinvent the wheel.
We're literally handing you the playbook: branding, fulfillment, marketing, legal, all of it. If you've got the hustle, we've got the system.
Click the link in the description below to book a discovery call with our team. Let's build a business that works for you and not the other way around.
BYOB, because doing hair should be because you want to, not because you have to. And so what ends up happening is we're trying to delegate things out to team members. We're trying to pay people to do things that we don't already know how to do ourselves. And the problem with that is that when you delegate something that you don't already have mastered yourself, when that person goes, guess what happens? It's back on you, and then you don't know what to do. So then what do? You have to start over again. So a lot of people that I see in the industry, including myself back then when I was first getting my business off the ground, I was working harder than I've ever worked in my entire life. My personal life was in shambles. I was the first one at the salon. I was the last one at the salon. I would sometimes be there until 2:00 in the morning doing inventory, running payroll, cleaning, organizing, installing things. My kids would sleep on the shampoo bowls, and I would literally drape a little cape or a robe over top of them and say, okay, good night. I mean, it was like, looking back, I thought, oh, I'm sacrificing my time now with my kids so that later in life, when they really need me, when they'll remember me, right, I am actually able to be involved and plugged into their life. And I told myself that for many, many years. And guess what? I missed it all. I missed bedtime. I missed the dance recitals. I missed freaking T-ball. I missed everything. I missed absolutely everything. And, you know, I've had to forgive myself for that. But the thing is, if you are going to miss stuff, and you're actually going to sacrifice time from family or yourself or your health or whatever, you have to be able to know that the actions you're taking today are going to be worth it. That you're going to look back at your current situation and say, you know what? Yes, it was hard. Yes, I sacrificed things. Yes, I lost time with these people. However, not only did I meet the goal, I exceeded the goal. Okay. And for me at that time when my life changed, I couldn't exactly and confidently say that I had met the goal. Because if I look back at my old self, I was very smart. I was very ambitious, hardworking. I wanted to figure it out. I had no idea what to do. And I instinctively was making decisions. I was bobbing and weaving and kind of through a maze, finding my way. A lot of times business looks just like that. Especially if you don't have a mentor. Now, if you have a mentor, that person is bird's eye view. They're like, oh, go this way, go that way, go this way. You know, they can see from a different perspective because they've already run that path. They've already achieved that goal, you know, so they're 10 million steps ahead of you. So at the time, you know, back in 2017, mentorship wasn't loud and proud online. There was nobody who was in the salon space that I could look to for guidance on what to do, how to do it, when to do it. You know, here's this template. I didn't have any of that stuff. So I had to go and create all those things after my life changed because I needed them inside my own business. I needed to create systems for constant headaches I was having daily over the same mundane shit. So I had to create systems and processes and templates and SOPs and how-tos and all the things to be able to fill in all of the broken pieces and holes that I found inside of my business, which was overflowing into my personal life. So those are the same systems, processes, templates, worksheets, all the things, spreadsheets that we give away to all of the salon owners that we help, because we know that if we can give them these things, it's going to solve those problems for them too. So I'm not here to pitch you an online course right now. What I'm here to do is to try and inspire you to seek mentorship or help or guidance or just learn in general the things that you don't know that you need to know to get to your destination, whatever that might be. All right, guys, I got to tell you about an incredible event that you don't want to miss. It's happening in Palm Springs, September 13th through the 15th. This is something that is going to be the event of the year for CEOs who are wanting to build their wealth. So if that's you, I'm going to put a link in the description below for you to get your ticket. Don't miss it. Now back to the episode. For me, when I look back, I'm like, man, she I see her and I want to give her a hug. I'm still the same person, but I'm wiser now. I'm smarter now because of the fact that I know I don't have to go do all of that to get this result. I could actually do a fraction of that and be more focused, more clear, more intentional about what I'm doing and the conversations I'm having and where my time is spent. And I can get to my destination 10 times faster just having that mindset and also having the wisdom from pain, from previous, issues and roadblocks and detours and things falling apart to be able to have the discernment of I don't want to go back there. I know I can I can take a different path to get to where I want to go. And when you take, let's say, my old self and my current self, and you put them side by side, they look very similar. Literally, it's like the same person. It looks the same. However, this person was starting over every single day. Every single day I had to start over. And what that means is because I didn't have systems, because I didn't have anything gathered, information gathered, or a process or a template, or this is how we do things here. It was all up here because I didn't document and create that time, because I was unwilling to slow down. Because when you're in that like hamster wheel, which I very much was, it seems like there is no time. I don't have time. If I slow down, I will lose money, right? If I take a day out from behind the chair, I'm going to lose money. If I couldn't, I mean, guys, I've heard it all. I have heard any of those sentences or all of those sentences come out of the mouths of all of the people that we help, and or people who are interested in us helping them, but don't make time to plug in or listen or do the thing or attend the call or fill out the worksheet, like whatever the case may be. There's nobody coming to save you in your company or your personal life. You have to understand that you are responsible for your own success. No other person is going to build your business for you. This is why we call our online business course BYOB, Build Your Own Business. Because guess what? If we built it for you, which we kind of sort of, in essence, can kind of put it together for you in that way. Like, hey, here's a business in a box, like go implement it. However, you still have to understand the ins and outs and the whys across every single thing in your company. Because otherwise, you're just blindly deploying stuff into your business and you have no idea what it is, why it exists, how to maintain it, who to go to for what. Like you're irresponsibly deploying things into your company, which honestly is extremely risky, because nowadays in economies like today, you don't have the luck that you had 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I don't have the luck that I had 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Okay, things are different. Times have changed, and you have to modernize, yes, but you have to also systematize your company. You have to really prioritize the things that matter against the things that don't matter. You have to protect your time. And I see it. I mean, it's just so prevalent in our industry, the hot mess hairstylist, the hot mess salon owner. You might be able to get away with it in the environment that you're in because it's your environment and you set the tone, you determine the weather in your own environment, and those people around you, they don't know any different, but you try and take that behavior or that time management or lack of and go plug it into somewhere else, it will absolutely not fly. So my best advice to you guys, if you can see yourself inside of my story, you can see yourself in, okay, I don't really manage my time well. I don't protect my time. I start out every day with great intention, but at the end of the day, I realize I didn't get anything done and I didn't make a difference. Or, okay, I miss bedtime again with my kids. Or, oh, I can't attend this thing because I have so-and-so at this time on this day and I forgot to block it off. Like, your ability to just get your shit together, it really doesn't take very long. It just takes about an afternoon sitting down, writing out what's not working, what's broken, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be deleted, what needs to be delegated out, and then going and executing on those things. And what I'm going to challenge you guys to do, following listening to this episode, and if this is not a good time for you to do this right now, I want you to bookmark this episode and come back and do it when you have the time to actually do the audit I'm about to walk you through. I want you to make an audit of your business on one piece of paper and your life on another. And on your business, I want you to break your business into 4 different categories, okay? So you're going to write down systems, you're going to write down people, you're going to write down processes, and then you're also going to write down everything else, okay? So those are the 4 different quadrants that I want you to break your business into. And systems and processes aren't exactly the same, okay? I want you to, the processes are actually going to be what step-by-step things do you actually have set up? And I'm talking about, it's a Google Doc and it says how to, yada, 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 and it has steps, okay? So if you find that okay, I have systems, meaning, okay, I have a time off system, I have a scheduling system, I have a payroll system, I have maybe an accounting system. Systems and processes are not exactly the same. The processes are going to be how you get yourself out of your business as the bottleneck. Because currently, if everything's having to flow through you to get done, you are the bottleneck inside your company. Ask me how I know, because I was the bottleneck inside of my company. And a lot of times when you are the bottleneck, it can seem exciting. You can feel very important, and you are. However, what happens is it costs you time, it costs you mental load, and it also costs you relationships. Okay, my relationships, I really didn't have any prior to me figuring this out. I didn't really have any relationships at all. I just worked from the moment I opened my eyes to the minute I closed my eyes. And that was just kind of that. I was on autopilot very, very often. I'd say probably 80% of the year I was on autopilot, and I missed a ton of time. And, that's the thing that I don't ever want to have to realize again, which is why I realized, okay, what did I lose? And now I have an opportunity after fixing that and having wisdom to be able to not ever find myself back in that position again. So, in your business audit, you're going to break it out into those 4 things. Obviously, the people part, you're going to write down like who's in your corner, who's there, who do people go to for what? Okay, what's everyone's role? What are their responsibilities? And I want you to be extremely detailed inside of this business audit. And if you have a hard time focusing, or you feel like you breeze through it really quickly, I want you to go back, and I want you to spend 15 minutes. Like, force yourself, put a timer on your phone, 15 minutes where you're actually going to force yourself to dig deeper and to come up with answers or things to fill out this sheet of paper. There's a lot more in place than you may realize. And I want to try to get as much of what's up here down on paper, because that's where we can start to create actual processes, create actual resources, templates, almost like a will for your business of how things need to get done and by who and when and all of that, because that's when you can start to replace yourself inside of different businesses that you have, which is exactly what I've done inside of some of my businesses, is I've replaced myself. And what you can do then is you have now clarity, you have mental space to be able to take on or create new things. And, if you're a creator, which you likely are because you're an entrepreneur listening to this, that is the most powerful place that you can be inside of your businesses, is being able to be truly in the CEO seat, being able to dream bigger, to think about, innovative things that you can deploy inside of your businesses. And, when you're bogged down with all the day-to-day stuff, or you're in the weeds, as people like to say, you will absolutely not be able to access that side of yourself. I can't access that side of myself. If I am like heavily buried under, pings and messages and emails and, honeydews and all these things, it's like, I can't even come up for air, let alone dream about something to do in the future, how to propel my company forward. So you've got to be able to get this stuff out of your head on paper, look at it and assess and realize, what are the things that need to change? What are the things that I really don't have set up? Like, be honest with yourself. And then you're going to do the same type of audit on your personal side. Now, I would recommend doing the business side first, because it's going to reveal quite a bit of things for you that will likely be able to contribute towards the personal side. So on the personal side, you're going to write down 4 things. Your relationships. The second thing you're going to write down is going to be your home. Okay, so that could be like stuff around the house. It could be like projects that you've always wanted to do but haven't made the time. It could be a pile of crap, like I have this actually right now. I have a purge pile, I call it, right by my front door. It's just a bunch of random shit that I need to go drop off at Goodwill or sell. So those are examples. It could be, you you want to attend certain things, you want to host certain things, like whatever happens inside your home. And then you're going to have a finances bucket. Okay. So it's going to be your personal finances, which is going to be like your bills, maybe different policies and things that you have set up. And then you're going to also have a bucket that's going to be for future. So again, we have 4 quadrants. One is going to be relationships, one's going to be your home, one's going to be your finances, and the other one is going to be your future. So your relationship bucket is going to be obviously if you're married, your spouse, if you have kiddos, your kids, maybe, your close family members like your mom, your dad, your grandpa, whoever, and you might realize that there's a lot of people that you need to call, I was just thinking about this when I was doing this audit several months back, because I do this about every quarter. I do this. So I went back and I was like, man, I haven't talked to my Aunt Kay in I don't know how long, and like I called her and she was so happy to hear from me. Because think about that. When you've got an older person in your family who's retired, whose family members and kids have all grown up and left, right? Life moves very slowly for that person. Life likely moves very fast for you. So when that person who's moving at a slower pace, gets a phone call from you, it makes their day. And it made my Aunt Kay's day for me to call her and chat with her, and I actually want to go see her. That's on my last audit I did, is I want to go pay her a visit. That's the closest thing I have to my grandma. My grandma's in heaven. But like, that's the kind of stuff that like needs to hit the personal audit page, is stuff like that, stuff that really matters. And then the things that are going to hit the future bucket are going to be like what you have set up for the future, if anything. And this might be where you have life policies. You might have, maybe you have some goals of like, okay, I want to set up a family trust, or, I want to get a will created. I have kids, I have businesses, I'm married, and I don't have a will. You guys would be absolutely shocked how many people I meet that have all of those things I just said, but have no will. They have no will. They have no life insurance. If they croak tomorrow, there would be a huge financial burden on all of their loved ones, and nobody would know what they wanted them to do. And so it's really important that you guys prioritize these things, because I understand the business screams so much louder than all of the personal stuff. I get it. The business has way more risks to it. It has more liabilities. Guess what? Guess why? Because there's more ego involved. There's more ego involved as to what would people think if I failed. That's really what it is. And so when you can press pause on your business for just a second, because of the fact that you can get those systems and stuff, deployed, now what you can do is you can go have time to set up the most important things, which are going to be on the personal side. Your business is just an income stream. That's it. That's all it is. You're likely not, I don't know. Hopefully you're taking it serious and you're creating profit, and it's something you could sell one day, or something you could pass the baton to another stylist and earn some passive income from. But it's your right now income stream. That's what it is. And your personal life is over here waiting for you to get the business thing figured out, because your personal life is dependent on the business life. So it really does, like, I know a lot of people say like, oh, your business and your personal life are separate. It is so not. It is so intertwined, especially as an entrepreneur. So I want to challenge you guys to do the audit that I just talked about. I'm happy for you to even send me a picture of it on my Instagram, like DM me a photo of your audit. I would love to talk about it with you. I would love to tell you like what I see inside of the audits that you do. Don't be shy. Like seriously, send me a DM on Instagram with this. And I'm curious to see like what you're able to dig up, what you're able to discover inside of your own business and your own life. And I can tell you guys this, what gets measured actually ends up creating momentum. If you aren't measuring stuff, you can't track it. You can't grow it. You can't do anything with it. It's just invisible. So I want you guys to do that. And honestly, that'll probably be something that you you should really try doing at the bare minimum once a year. But I actually have like a recurring alarm on my phone, and every quarter I remind myself that I need to redo this task. And trust me, it's not like exciting to see that it's that time. It's usually one of those things where it's like, oh shit, man, it's already been 3 months. I got to do that again. But you will be shocked as to how much things change in a positive way every single time that you do this exercise. So I'll leave you guys with that. Get those DMs sent to me. I'm excited to see what you come up with, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.